All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, June the 17th, 2023. 4, 5, 6, 25. That's when it is. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always. Another Mr. Beer Samurai looking at me like I'm weird for not knowing the year it is. And eating food. What a novel idea.
I'm eating my veggies.
You're eating your veggies? Why are you eating your veggies?
Because it's your veggie day.
It is Eat Your Veggie Day. So happy National Eat Your Veggie Day for those that celebrate. I'm eating my veggies too. Shall I take a bite?
Go right ahead.
Okay.
What do you got?
I have cake veggies.
That's cake.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you have cake?
It's leftover birthday cake from yesterday, and I wasn't there.
Oh.
It was brought home to me because somebody at the bar had a birthday, and
someone who works at the bar is looking out for your girlish figure.
Yes, exactly. So I'm considering these veggies tonight. So it's very
those are yummier looking veggies than my veggies.
Mm-hmm.
But
they're really tasty.
I don't think my veggies are as fattening.
Well, my veggies do have eggs and milk and wheat in them.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
So,
and sugar and sugar and sugar. And don't forget the butter.
And a little sugar.
And a little more sugar.
And a little more sugar. Anyway.
That's good.
Yeah. It's also, I wish I had one to wash it down with, but it's also National Stewart's Root Beer Day.
You wish you had one? Here, you want me to give you one?
Can I have one, please?
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. All right. Thanks.
That's going to be my dessert later.
The one I took from you turned into a can of seltzer. I don't know why.
Weird things happen in that little. So we got this little portal thing going here.
Right over here.
Mine's right here though, but it comes to over there.
Yeah. For
John, but it doesn't always do what we want it to.
No. Sometimes it screws things up. Sometimes it works though.
Sometimes it works, but not always.
Not always.
We got to get the technicians on that.
Mm-hmm. We do.
So
that cake is really good, but I'm not eating any more of it right now. So
no, probably a bad idea. Mm-hmm. But now everything that you're drinking now is going to taste very, very dry. Very.
Well, that's why I got the seltzer to wash that down.
Wash down. There you go. That might help. Who knows? What else? What else we got going today? Oh, apple strudel day. God, I wish. You have that's close to apple strudel.
Close enough. This was my apple strudel. It had no apple or strudel in it, but it was,
What is strudel?
It's that thing that has apple in it.
I see. Yeah, that's very good. That's
see what I did there.
Oh my God, our comedy tanks are running real fucking low tonight, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Well, it's a shitty day, and it's been a shitty. I don't know. I think we live in England now.
God, I hope not.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's some reasons why I would say that would be cool, but
maybe
not for the reason that we do.
For the beer,
yeah,
not the food,
no,
or the climate,
And just to wrap it all up, we happy Bunker Hill Day, Bunker Hill.
Yeah, they go down to Bunker Hill.
Bunker Hill.
Well, the interesting thing about that is because what's the famous saying? Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes.
Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes.
That didn't happen in Bunker Hill. There was actually not the battle wasn't really at Bunker Hill. It was at Breed's Hill.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't Breed's Hill, yeah.
But Bunker Hill. This is a monument there, I guess.
Yeah, there's a hill, and there was no bunker. It's just a monument.
Yeah, it's a big.
There may have been a bunker there 200 years ago. But...
Yeah, big phallic symbol on top of it. But no, I think it was named after somebody.
Archie? Joey Bunker. Archie, Edith. It was Edith Bunker.
Archie. The way Glenn Miller played.
Songs that made the hit parade. All right, enough of that.
Enough of that.
All right, I need a beer.
We really should bring the guest on and get us out of this mess.
Exactly, Jan. Please help us. Here we go. Please welcome to the show, Mr.
He just taught you how to say it. Mr. Jan. He's Mr. Jan.
Chwiedosiuk. There you go. Chwiedosiuk.
There we go.
We're trying to teach John how to say
it. Jan Chwiedosiuk.
I said, turn the I's into H's. You'll be okay.
Yeah, there you go. So was it Chwiedosiuk, right?
There you go.
Chwiedosiuk.
I'll take it.
Chwiedosiuk. There you go. Well, believe me, that's why I have Jersey Johnny there and not my last name, because nobody pronounces it right. Even the people that know it.
I pronounce it right.
Yeah. Well, you do because you've known me for 100 years.
God, it seems like
There
it.
you go. We got 2 comments already. Brian Boak. Cheers, first beer. Boak's beer blunderboard just tapped.
There we go.
There you go.
Now, I think now's a damn good time to deliver in his beer.
I think you're right. And Gene Lynch says, Jan!
Just like that.
What's going
Just
on?
like that. So, anyway. So, how are you on this fine evening, Jan?
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
How's stuff at the brewery?
Good.
Yeah.
Just enjoying a busy night, and we got the Deutscher Club here brewing
Nice.
we brew the fest beer for them every year, so
Nice.
they're here,
Cool.
enjoying themselves and learn a little bit more about beer.
Nice, very nice. That's awesome. That's always.
Are you drinking
good time.
something?
Am I drinking something?
Yeah. What are you drinking?
Oh, so I'm drinking this Friday's release. It's a raspberry wheat ale. We did
Very cool.
Very, very cool.
something light, a little summer-esque.
I stuck with fruited as well.
Mm.
To start with,
you went fruited, did you?
I went fruited to start with.
And
I'm doing some Dune fruit.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, remember it's a Highlander Weiss.
Highlander Weiss, right?
It's not brewed in Berlin, so it's a Highlander Weiss.
Was now if Carton was located in Keyport, would it be a Keyportia Weiss?
No, Key Porter Weiss.
A Keyporter Weiss. Yes.
Imagine if he did a porter, it'd be a Key Porter.
Porter. Or just a Key Porter.
Mm.
Keep it short.
Short and sweet. No, I don't like porters.
So Jan, you can do a Somerset Weiss.
There you go. New style in the making.
There you go.
There you go.
I did forget to put up your banner. I apologize all around.
He was too flustered with the name.
I was too. No, because I almost did, but I forgot to actually copy and paste it. So I almost put up John Starodumsky. So that wouldn't have worked.
No, they don't look anything alike.
They don't look anything alike.
Jan's got a bit more hair.
Just a bit. There we go.
You know, this one.
There we go.
Okay, so
for those of you that want to know how to spell Chwiedosiuk, there you go. There it is. Anyway, all right. I am drinking. I didn't even pour it yet, but I'll pour it as Jan is answering the first question. I am drinking.
He'll ask it. Don't worry, Jan.
I'll ask you.
You don't have to.
I'm starting with this one. I got this one. Saranac Weekend Warrior. It's a mild strength golden pilsner.
It says mid strength.
I like mild strength. Mild strength.
Sean's having reading problems today.
No, I'm having a Tuesday. Let's put it that way.
You're having a Tuesday. Tell me why you don't like Tuesday. No,
we'll get into that later on after I've had a couple of beers. Anyway, so let's kick it off. The first question we ask everybody, that's the first time on the show anyway, is what is the first craft beer you can remember having? And it can be, loosely craft. It doesn't have to be
loosely craft. Ooh. I mean, it's common to a lot of people. I mean, probably Sam. I mean, that'd be the loosely craft ish.
It's mine and Dave's. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
There you go. And what whatchamacallit? What was the first craft brewery? The first brewery / craft brewery that you ever went to?
So Brew Pub, Trap Rock.
Brew Pub is fine. Yeah, that works.
Yep.
Yeah.
Brewery, I'd say Kane, honestly.
Okay.
Interesting. Now, when you had your first Sam, were you old enough to drink?
We're going to go with we shall not incriminate ourselves.
Taking the fifth.
Some people are Polish on this call,
Actually, we got about 66.6% of this call is Polish.
And I'm half German, so almost half German. Well, it's close to Poland, so
uncomfortably close to Poland.
Well, now not so much.
No, not so much. I was actually watching a talk show, and they asked this one German guy, "Does it get you mad that the bad guy is always German?" He's like, "No. Have you wikied our history?" It's pretty funny.
That is pretty funny. All right. Cheers, gents. I didn't take a sip yet, so
Cheers, Jens
Cheers.
and Jan.
cheers, Jens.
There's W.
Oh yeah. Mm.
All
I
right.
don't know. I don't know what Highlander is for cheers.
I don't know. Anyway,
This thing's a little over a year old, and the prickly pears, the little bit of the vegetal sides come out of it. So I'm drinking my veggies as well.
well, thank you for that.
Yeah, it's
Thank
nice.
you. Or,
Nice.
or Chenkuya.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, look
Wow.
at you go! Wow, you've been studying.
I've been studying up.
He spent 3 hours on the phone with Matt before.
This
he
is
got
more
here.
this is more informal. So just Chenky. There you go.
Jenky.
Mm.
Jinkies?
Not Jen Keys.
Oh,
No.
Jankies.
Anyway, all right. So take us back to the beginning when you first had a beer. What did you what made you want to? I was kidding with the first you had a beer though. What made you want to get into this business?
Ooh, so I'd say, in Jersey, you gotta be crazy enough to get into the business. But no, let's. But
You don't have to tell me that.
honestly, my family, we've been in the food business for a long time. It's making something that other people can enjoy, and kind of visiting a brewery, seeing it's a different path, different things. You're making something that other people are enjoying. They're taking to their friends. They're having an experience. They're having a party, a celebration, maybe drowning their sorrows as well. But at the end of the day, it's still establishing memories.
Yep.
So that's really the the little bit of drive or the spark that I had with opening a brewery or for opening a brewery.
Now, were you homebrewing before that?
Yep,
Of course.
like everybody else.
Like everybody else. What was
And-
on that note? What was
Have started?
Yeah. What was the first? What's the first beer you brewed?
Ooh. Trying to think. I think first beer brewed probably was a Dunkel, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
A Dunkel out of the gate. Wow. How did that go?
pretty solid actually. But it was a half, obviously an extract batch as the first one, and then quickly thereafter rolled into all grain.
Nice.
So you want the can of extract, right?
Yep.
Pot
Yep.
right on the stovetop.
Yep. Bought the recipe online.
Did you boil over and get into a lot of trouble because you destroyed the oven?
Amazingly not. Against all odds. Followed a couple directions. Not all of them, but some.
We've had people on the show that admitted to setting their living room floor on fire for their first.
Honestly, that's impressive.
Mhm. And I'm sure you know him, but I'm not going to say who it was. So. Well, then again, he admitted it on the show, so.
So you probably got away with saying it.
Anyway, but in any event, Ed's Jersey guy, so.
I have no doubt.
May or may not have worked at Kane at one point, and may or may not own a brewery in Fort Monmouth, but I'm not going to say who it is.
No idea.
No. Wait a second. Bird's Mouth is in Fort Monmouth.
No, well, anyway, that's cool. So, all right. So when, how long between your first batch of, that Dunkel, and not opening, but like saying, okay, let's do this. I'm opening, whatever became Jersey Cyclone.
So let's see. Started brewing after Hurricane Irene. So that was 2012.
2011, yeah.
Yeah, 2011, 12.
August of 2011. It was Irene.
Got a space in New Brunswick around 2015.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd say, probably 2-ish years before saying, hey, going down this path, and then rolling into that space, going through the fun variance process and the town and everything else, and then going to put start renovations, and the landlord was not too keen on doing everything a brewery needs to do in the space.
Gotcha.
So
hence why you're not in New Brunswick.
correct.
He's now answered to the questions I had for him. Where did the name come from? We know you started right after Hurricane Irene. And how'd you wind up in Somerset?
So
we can still answer that question.
You can still answer.
yeah, no, absolutely. So that's an interesting one. So originally we looked at Somerset warehouse space, that time, and then when the New Brunswick route, that paid the variance, paid the lawyers, paid everybody under the sun to try to open there. And after getting out of that space, it was a matter of where can we open and not deal with the variance process. And Somerset was close enough to the idea and mindset. And then looking at their variances and their zoning, they had an allowance for liquor manufacturing or alcohol manufacturing. So that's where we went and said, hey, we're licking our wounds. This is round 2. Let's see what we can make of it.
Gotcha. Well, that works.
Yeah,
that works. That's for sure.
It seems to have stuck.
6 years later.
6 years later, yeah, that's for sure. I kudos to that because it certainly takes a lot, and especially in this climate, right? Which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit of that discussion later, and especially not just in general, but how it's affecting you or if it has affected you. Yep. But and I'm sure in some way it has. But in any event, so you opened in 2019,
correct?
And what month?
So we opened up in May of 2019.
Right. You just had your 6th anniversary.
Yep.
Nice. And when you first opened, what did you? How many beers did you open with?
So we opened. It was 3-4 beers and a couple variants to fill out the lines.
That makes sense. That's cool. And it's been busy ever since, right?
Yeah. Well, except for that little COVID period.
Yeah. Shaw, who cares? That's nothing.
When did that happen?
We're gonna wipe that period of our lives out of our.
Yeah. It was the blip.
It was the blip.
In Marvel parlance, right?
Well, you know what though, we gotta. I don't want to say embrace the blip, right? Because that's certainly nothing that we want to embrace, right? But this podcast was born out of the pandemic. So.
This is true.
So.
Yeah.
Every cloud has a crappy line.
Crappy line. In 2.5 months, we will be celebrating our 5th anniversary.
Wow.
Heading into our 6th year of this podcast. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember the first anniversary of the brewery and sitting in the tap room handing out bottles and going, how did we end up here?
Right. Yeah, because you did you open with outside seating after when everyone was allowed to?
We did not. Our landlord drug their feet. It took them a whole year to approve outside seating.
Jeez.
So 2nd anniversary, we got the outside seating.
Gotcha. But I mean, the restrictions were starting to ease by then.
They were. I think when we got outside seating, we got 25% occupancy or whatever that whole staggered approach was.
Right. That's that it was just yeah, you're right. I mean, a blip for all intents and purposes describes it well without getting into the nitty-gritty of everything that it was. But yeah. Did you do any home delivery or just pickups?
We didn't do home delivery. Focused on cans wholesale, and then obviously everybody picking up at the brewery, and we had a lot of great customers picking up cans, growlers, crowlers, whatever they could every week.
I got to tell you, that definitely was a plus because there were so many people that did that and supported all the breweries and went around there. Got a comment here from Ralph A. Heiss. Jan's beer is the best.
How's it going, Ralph?
Thanks, Ralph. Appreciate the comment.
Make me crabby. Get the Facebook things over the last word.
Make me crabby. Get the
stuff.
Yeah, Ralph. What is the word under the Facebook logo in your avatar there? Please let us know.
Yeah. Inquiring minds want to know.
Jan's beer is very good. I've had plenty of it, and I enjoy it greatly. I do it. Unfortunately, I don't have any right now. Meant to actually stop by this weekend, Well, Saturday, not Sunday. That was fine.
You could have saw Ralph play.
Ralph was playing on Saturday?
Could have been.
Oh, jeez. 2 birds, 1 stone. I blew it. I blew it. My bad. But all right. What size is your brew house?
So we're 5-barrel electric. We got 2.5, 10, and 15 barrel fermenters. So
Nice.
either half batch or double batch or potentially triple batch. I mean, you could push the mash tun and get, double batch into the 15s depending on what your, what ABV you're brewing at.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Ralph just commented, it's mess with the crabby, get the stabby.
Very nice.
Yeah, there you go. I like it.
Crab with a knife.
Crab with a knife. Here, mess with the crabby, get the stabby. I love it. All right. That's cool. So yeah, you got a lot of options. You can half batch a high percentage, big huge barley wine, which you've done.
Yeah.
And
we may like those things.
We might like those. Just
a
little bit.
We might like them even better in 2 weeks.
Yes, you're absolutely right. We might like them in 2 weeks. Why don't you say, Dave, why we'll like them better in 2 weeks?
Well, in 2 weeks, Jan, it is American Barley Wine Day.
Wow.
Now we're still trying to figure out though, is it American Barley Wine Day, or should I say American Barley Wine Day, or is it American Barley Wine Day?
In other words, is the day to celebrate American barley wines, or a day in America to celebrate barley wines?
Right.
So I guess I shouldn't tell you that we have happen to have a barrel-aged barley wine we're gonna be releasing this month.
I would be more than happy to stop by and get some of it and have it on the show that day.
And celebrate on the 26th.
Absolutely. I'm taking it upon myself, and I think Dave is too, for it to be viewed as American Barley Wine Day.
No, I'm going to be drinking an American barley wine.
Well, you know what? I'll probably wind up having a Bigfoot.
That's an American barley wine.
It's an American barley wine. Yeah. I might have been sitting on it a while, so it might not be it might be closer to an English barley wine at that point.
Jan, if you ever wondered why John walks so funny, it's because he's always sitting on beers.
Yeah.
I can't be comfortable. What barley wine I have?
I know.
Oh no, I've got the.
Ralph just said, "I don't want to promote the band. This is Jan's show." There you go.
Oh, is that so? That the band logo? Okay. See, we didn't know that.
It's the band logo. Mess with the crab, we get the stab. There you go.
Nice.
So he may or may not have been playing on Saturday night.
May or may not.
Potentially.
There you go. Well, let us know the next time he's there, and we'll come down.
Or don't let us know.
Right.
Well, we'll just let you say there's a high potential of yes or no, and they may or may not be here.
They may or may not be there. Exactly. Cool. All right. I'm ready for my second. Is anybody ready for their second, or just curious?
I've been actually sipping at this one.
Yeah.
This is 16. So
sipping away. All right. Well, you don't have to. I mean, I'll pour. Mine was only a 12-ounce can, so
yeah.
and it was 3%. Yeah.
Wow, I'm just like, I feel like such a lush at a 3.9% here.
I know you beat me by almost a full percentage right there.
What's the ABV on yours, Jan?
So this one is 4.8 for this one.
Alky. You just go for the high ABV beers now, don't you?
I'll let that.
Well, I got a 9+ Belgian triple if you want it.
There you go.
Okay, I'll join in solidarity, John, and I'll open my second.
Open your second. There you go. I was gonna have one of these, but I didn't. And there you go. It's
I need to get some of that.
There you go. It's a Belgian style Pater's beer. Monastic, fantastic. It was brewed. It was brewed in Chatham, by one of the brewers that works there, and another brewer from another owner from another brewery.
A fellow Pole.
A fellow Pole. There you
go. Here he goes. Like Ralph's like, I don't want to promote the band, but John will shamelessly plug his beer.
It's not my beer. It's Tim and Cindy's beer. It's not my beer.
What logo's on the can? There's two logos on that can.
Hold on.
I saw two logos on that can.
Twin elephant logos on the can, right there.
Yeah, and what's under your thumb?
Just
big
a blank area. Anyway,
I actually had a wine steward do that to me at a French restaurant. Actually, had his thumb over the vintage on the bottle.
Really
nice. Look at
That's
that.
And I had been like, we were setting up. We were doing some work across the way, so I wasn't dressed really nice. So I guess he thought he was going to get away with it. Oh, the restaurant manager came over. We got a free bottle of wine out of the deal.
That's pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So what are some styles that you've done over the years? I mean, I'm sure you've done a billion, right? Obviously, you've been there for 6 years, and you have you can small batch some stuff. So you've played around a lot. But some of your favorites that you've done.
Favorites. I mean, some solid lagers over the years. I mean, let's see. I mean, if I'm gonna go pick some, we've done some fantastic pours and stouts over the years. It's tough to put my finger on it because we've kind of morphed our business model to releasing at least one new beer every week.
Well, pick out some of the stranger ones you've done, some of the more unknown ones.
So style-wise or just in general beers? Because we just did a strawberry rhubarb sour we played around with. We've done, as part of our Team Tap series, we've done a pineapple and mint IPA.
Interesting.
Pineapple and mint IPA. That's how was that?
Really good, really good. That was one of our staff members.
Sounds fantastic, actually.
Yeah. So the cool thing we do is something called Team Tap. So each one of our tasting room staff gets to brew a beer. Learning about the process, but also at the end of the day, it lets us kind of be even more creative than we are on a regular basis. Kind of pulls it out of the brand and says, "Hey, this is what's available in our tap room."
Nice.
I mean, we've done blueberry and cinnamon sours. We've done pastry stouts over the years. I mean, it's tough to say what is a non-traditional beer at this point. I mean, there's so many breweries and so many styles out there. If you're in the industry, it's tough to say something that's off the beaten path. In essence,
it really is. It really is true. Now with the lager game that everybody's that's coming really back into the forefront. There's a lot of styles out there that were rarely brewed, for the last 20 years or more, that are really being, explored. And I love every minute of it. So
to that point, I wonder if people are going to start taking deeper dives, because we were at that point where everyone was doing the basic styles, but ramping them into a different direction and just taking them bigger, badder, bolder. And now that we've gotten to the lagers and we're getting back to the basics, are they going to start going retro and get into some of the older styles, some of the styles that you don't see out there anymore, like the Adams beer, the Lichtenheiner, some of these Rogan beers and stuff along those.
I would love a good Rogan beer, a good Lichtenheiner. Right. And why would you bring up Adams beers? Why would you
because I've got a shit ton of them sitting right over there. But and I love, and why I brought up Lichtenheiner.
You love a good Lichtenheiner.
Yes, I do.
Actually, but this is a family show, so we won't talk about that.
And we won't talk about your earlier typo.
Or that. We don't want to do that.
Oh boy. No, whatever.
Anyway. Did you have you brewed your first beer that you ever brewed at the brewery? Have you brewed the Dunkel?
So we've modified that recipe just because of scaling and playing around,
of course,
and whatnot. But we have brewed a Dunkel at the brewery.
Nice.
So that was fun. I mean, there's so many styles. Like I said, we've done Polish Pilsners. We've played around and rolled into, we just did a Rausch beer, which the smoked beers actually surprisingly are really coming back. So, but
The two people above you right now on the screen are immensely loving every minute of that. Right?
And we have a theory about it. Is that when Augie that's one challenged? Can't say it 3 times.
John, he pops up on the show. If you say his first name 3 times, he pops up on the show.
It's like
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
There's precedent.
Yeah.
There is.
But he challenged John Hall on the Steal This Beer podcast, stating that if he started a Facebook page on Rauch beer, it would become immensely popular. John didn't believe it, opened up the Facebook page, it became immensely popular, and then the whole country started brewing Rauch beers. So we attribute it to that, and John denies that fact. He thinks that he was riding the wave. We basically put forth that he jumped into the pool and started the wave.
Yeah. We do that because we do it this week in Rauch Beer Show every January. We've done 4 of them now.
At least 3.
3 or 4 of them now, every January. But with John, but
when did the cease and desist end?
Well, he comes on the show, so
no, I'm just saying because that's when he came on the show. It's after that.
Oh, when that ended, yeah, you're right.
Or no, the cease and desist ended years before. That was the restraining order. That's
restraining order ended, right? Exactly. Okay. Anyway, but and we actually love him so much that this show came up with a new way to measure the level of smoke in beer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we call it the BSUs, Bamberg Smoke Units. Mm-hmm. So it's a scale of 1 to 5.
1 is barely negligible, 5 is undrinkable.
Yeah,
and then you have everything in between.
So
5 is if you crack the can open and flames shoot out of the can. That's 5.
And burn your eyebrows off.
Right.
1 is you taste smoke, but there's actually no smoked malt
in it. It's just
it happens.
It does.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
coffee porters can do that, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So,
what Rauchs have you done?
Oof, I think we're up to probably 5 or 6 at this point. We've done over the period, and we kind of we'll listen to customer feedback, obviously, and then kind of adjust. We've found so far customers, I'll say on at least, growing up Polish and, being into smoke things, maybe a 4 or 5, somewhere in my scale is where customers seem to settle. Mm-hmm. But, we listen and we adapt, and, my head brewer, Aaron, big into listening to customer feedback, and we adjust.
Nice. Have you done a Grodziski yet?
We have. We actually did a collab with Flounder Brewing one.
Nice.
Very cool.
Very cool. Brian Boak commented.
He's not that far away.
No, he's not. Brian Boak said, second beer is a stout that I brewed as a small beer from when I brewed Monster Mash. So is it a second runnings, Brian?
I think he meant small batch, right? From when
no, he might have been small beer.
He might have been small beer. Who knows?
Yeah. Was it a second runnings, Brian, after Monster Mash? So did you do a Party Guile beer? But in any event, and Ralph said, "Oh, we did." So it was there Saturday.
Playing it.
Okay. Yeah. That's cool. You got to let me know the next time you guys do a Rauch, because I don't care what I'm doing. I'm driving to Somerset.
Well, we have one on draft right now.
You do?
Yeah.
I'm driving to Somerset.
Okay, show's over. Bye.
It's like dust, and it's just
welcome. We could have done the show here.
We could have.
Welcome to the Rogerloom.
Welcome to the what?
Rogerloom guys.
The Rogerloom guys.
The Rogerloom guys.
The Raucherloom guys.
Formerly with Jersey Johnny, but he's on the road right now, and he's going up the Parkway, which means he'll be there in about 7 hours.
7 hours, yeah. I can't stand the Parkway.
Jan, when John gets on the Parkway, planes land on it, and forest fires erupt, volcanoes come out.
But they
cyclone
traffic.
But they do. That's the sad part. He's not exaggerating.
Maybe the volcanoes and the airplanes, but
anyway, I'm convinced. By the way, the area from exit 135 up to 153 on the Parkway is now the Cross Bronx.
not as many potholes, but
not as well. It's getting there, but
what
traffic wise.
What about what about the burnt out cars up against the wall?
That's just atmosphere as you're driving down the road there. But
dead deer. You replace them with dead deer.
You could do that. Yeah, you could do that. So, what you guys have done? You guys have done plenty of events over the years. We've done AC Beer Fest together a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Have you done any? Did you go to AC Beer Fest this year? Did you?
We did.
How was? We didn't go. Obviously, we didn't. I wasn't there, and I couldn't even attend just myself because my cousin's son was getting married that day. Since it was just the 2-day, it was just the 2-session Saturday.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah, if he did the Friday night too, I would have been there Friday night, right? But nope. It was just Saturday. Couldn't go. Had to go to a wedding. So wedding was fun, but. It is what it is. But in any event, how was AC this year? That's where I was going with this.
That was good. Overall, I mean, I think it's tough. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say he went back to the convention center last year, but he did the Friday night and the 2 sessions on Saturday. This year was just the 2 sessions on Saturday. So that was kind of where I was like, how did that work out? Was it?
I think they were, overall they were definitely busier than the 3. I mean, the first one last year was a little slower. The Friday night, the Saturday 2 sessions were pretty solid. So I'm going to say similar to last year.
Without the Friday night is all.
Yeah, without the Friday night.
Well, that Friday night session is always the one that, the actual people that want to go and actually taste the beer.
Absolutely.
That go to, right? That's, I know if I'm going to a beer fest, that's a Friday night and 2 sessions on Saturday. I'm going Friday night.
Yep.
Because Saturday's going to be a shit show.
Yep.
So, but that's good though that they did it. I love the fact this was the first AC Beer Fest. I take that back. This is the second. I missed the first year after the pandemic. The first year on Bader Field.
Okay.
In 2021, I missed that.
Oh, that heat wave and downpour and everything.
Heat wave and downpour. I missed that. Yeah.
I remember unloading and literally the skies opened up and we had 50-mile-an-hour winds and we're holding the tent and
that was bad. But I missed that one and I missed this other one. But I mean, all the way back to when he started in 06, I was at all of them. Yeah. And I called him up this year. I'm like, when he called, so you guys coming? I'm like, can't do it this year. Sorry, John. But
I really hope he continues it.
I do too. It's a great event. It really is. You have was it 2 years ago? The last year on Bader Field. Mm-hmm. The Saturday session was freezing. Oh my god!
Yeah,
yes, it was.
Yeah.
If you had sweatshirts for sale, it didn't matter how much you sold them for. They're gone.
And that was Dave's first AC Beer Fest.
And only.
Oh wow!
First and only AC Beer Fest. So his experience at AC Beer Fest was freezing in June.
But I didn't mind. Remember, I was wearing a cowboy hat and a Hawaiian shirt.
You were wearing a cowboy hat and a Hawaiian shirt. You were.
I was having fun, and the Dropkick Murphys were playing, so I didn't.
Dropkick Murphys played. Yeah.
I remember that, and then the wind. I think that was the next day. It was nonstop wind plus the cold. Yeah, it was rough.
It was fun though.
Yep.
I'm trying to get the picture here of his cowboy hat and Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, there was a bunch of us there. We had fun. But it's funny because, John, we asked Brian, was it a small beer or was it a small batch? And do you see what his answer was?
He said, was it a small beer or a small batch? He said, yes.
Yes. So, well, now we've got that settled.
Small batch of a small beer.
That's probably what he meant by that. Yes to both. So Jan, well, John's sort of.
There it is. I got it.
There we go. I've
seen it. Look at that incriminating evidence there. And you got Al.
Mr. Tulo.
There you go. That was a fun. It was an interesting day. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, you guys doing any other events this year?
We're doing a couple. So, I think next up we have. So we're doing obviously farmers markets throughout the year. I think the next two we have is Asbury Park Beer Fest, and we're doing Brew at the Zoo.
Sure. Brew at the Zoo is always fun.
Oh yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's always a fun event.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think what else.
And it's coming up soon too.
It is. I think it's next weekend, if I remember correctly.
It's not this weekend. Next week, the 28th, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yes. 28th.
28th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then we have a couple others. I think we're also going to be down in Bayville for Rock to Adopt in September. That's a dog adoption event. We got a beer garden we're setting up there.
Very nice.
So that'll be fun.
I love it. I love that they do that, where they have beer events where you can adopt dogs. So many drunken people go home with dogs, wake up the next day and go, "What?
We did that.
Where did this thing come from?
Who's barking? What?"
We did that when I stopped in the one day. We went down to State Line down the road from you.
Okay. Yep.
We had a beer on for the event event they were doing. This was last year or the year before.
Mhm.
We had our hef on. They were doing was it pit bulls?
I think they did pit bulls.
It
Yeah.
was pit bulls, right? It was a pit bull adoption day.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool though. The dogs were adorable.
Oh,
Did
like,
you go home with the
they were
dog?
all, but they were all puppy. No, we didn't. But they were just wanted to go home at like 3 of them, right? But
And she went home with you instead.
well, I was one of the 3. I mean, but,
You were one of the dogs. I got it.
exactly. But they're puppies. I'm like, they're not gonna stay this way, Jess. They're gonna be nice. They're gonna be great dogs. Don't get me wrong. But
Yeah,
you're
and
looking at the cuteness of this puppy right now. It's gonna get bigger.
Yeah, and you're gonna have to walk it and carry some
No, it's no.
full-size trash bags.
It's gonna walk her. That's Brian actually just said no. The question was the beer?
Oh, that
running?
question.
The answer was yes.
Okay,
There you go. So he answered my question, not yours. That's what he did. So
that's what he did.
there you go. So thanks, Brian. That's cool. What's the what was the percentage on it? What did you get out of the second the second round?
Actually, I thought that you were just trying to make a Jamaican bobsled joke, but then I realized no, that's not second round. It's Cool Runnings.
That's Cool Runnings. That's Cool Runnings. There you go. What? By the way, what was your second beer that you almost finished? I never put it up.
Oh, this, as you know, because God, in 2 days I'm going to Rhode Island, so I'm trying to clear as much room in the fridge as I can. So I'm getting this out of the way.
Now they have renamed that beer. That Slighty Mighty is now 30-minute.
Yeah, so I decided to really crank up the ABV and add 0.1% ABV. Add a 3% here. I figured going to get crazy tonight.
There you go. I went crazy too. I went 1.2% higher, and I'm drinking a Phase 3 Japanese style rice lager. So
that's not a bad thing at all.
No, I love Phase 3 is making good beer. I like Phase 3. Have you had some Phase 3?
I have not.
They're in Jersey now. They just did an event at Paragon two or 3 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer.
I bet Al Gattulo's had it then.
Al had it. Yes. I spoke with Al today just about several topics, and that was one of them, as a matter of fact. So,
I think I need to disappear and get a beer. So I'll
please,
be right back.
Please go. Absolutely. Go get it. Go get it.
I just remembered. I've got a Devore box open. I better make that thing 6. I've got like 4 beers in the thing, so I've got to make sure that
I screwed up again.
You screwed up again.
I screwed up again, just like I did with the last crate. I had 7 beers in a crate, 8 beers in a crate, and it was Memorial Day, right? Because I push it out. Now I should just push it out 2 or 3 weeks every time, like from the get-go, right? And just keep it way ahead. But I keep pushing it out 1 week just in case I get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm done, right? That's why I do it. I only do it 1 week at a time, just in case I'm like, all right, you know what? Screw it. I don't want any more in this. Just send it, right?
Guess what they have? Guess what they have? Guess what they have?
They have Yeti. I guess you're getting it. But
I'm getting 6 of them.
6 of them, nice.
Mm-hmm.
But
this will be one Devore shipment I will not get yelled at for.
Because she loves Yeti. Yeah. So, but I push it out 1 week at a time just for that reason. And Memorial Day, it's a Monday that the crate closes, and it was Memorial Day, and I completely spaced and forgot to extend it. And all of a sudden, it was like
you forgot to do something.
It's like 9:30 at night, and I'm like, oh shit! I pick up my phone and it already closed. I'm like, damn it! So it's 2 crates in a row that shipped with 7 or 8 beers. That's it.
I am not ordering that.
What is it? No. Just
That's just a no.
Just no. Show you on that one.
Yeah, this is. So we're talking about before. I am not going to be ordering this beer. Unless
unless I was
celebrating like Ghostbusters Day, because it looks like Slimer.
It looks like Slimer, yeah. Little ecto cooler. Although I have had one beer that color before. It was from Voodoo out in Homestead. Voodoo? Voodoo. That voodoo that you do.
So well.
They did an ecto cooler or whatever. It was a sour ale, but it was that color. It was green. It was like neon green almost.
Yeah. Okay.
So what'd you get there, yeah? You got the route, didn't you?
I did, just to
make you jealous. You guys continue. I'm going to continue shopping. I just found a Belgian style barley wine.
Oh Jesus, a Belgian style barley wine?
That's what it says. Oh, not for $36.
So barley wine, and we just ferment it on Belgian yeast.
I was going to say just make an English barley wine and ferment it on Belgian yeast. Why?
Why not?
I mean, to try it, sure, but I mean,
there's Belgian stouts, Belgian IPAs. Why not a Belgian barley wine?
I'm wondering, I would say an American barley wine would probably be better on Belgian yeast than an English barley wine.
Well, I don't know how they did it. I'm well past the what you call it now, that page now. Still scrolling, doom scrolling here.
There you go. Stop doom scrolling. Anyway, while he plays on Tavour, how was your talk about the rack that you have right there? What is that? What is that one?
So it's called Fogscape. So 5.6 ABV. Just like I said, a nice amount of smoke. For me, I personally like the campfire beating you as you take your first sip.
Nice.
But
we'll give you get finished and then I'll tell you the yes you think.
But at the end of the day, we brew for our customers, right? So understanding that not everybody wants to be chased by the smoke from the campfire. We try to balance it. Try to balance that between the malt and really the smoke.
Right. So our BSU scale is 1, like I said, is barely negligible.
Right.
Anything lower than 1, that like there's no 0.5, right? Because 1 is really negligible.
Yeah.
2 is all right. There's some smoke in this, but like it's like a nice 3.8 Grodziskie, right? Mm-hmm. 3 is all right. Now we're talking.
Yeah,
now we got some good campfire smoke going on.
3 is your smoke. That's
3 is your smoke. 4 is wow. This is a bacon bomb, but in a good way, right?
4 is where you start getting to the meat.
Yeah, you're like chewing the beer. That's how smoky it is, right? But in a good way, if you like that. And like I said, 5 is just you got to really like you got to be the guy that sticks his head in the smoker to see if the meat's done in order to drink a 5.
Oof.
So on that scale, based on what I just said, where would that one fit?
I'm gonna fall into probably like a 2.5 to a 3 on it.
Fair enough.
Keep the crowd, keep the crowd enjoyable. But then again, I like smoke a lot more than others because we know how polarizing that is.
Keep in mind,
I see what you did there.
Polarizing, that is. I got you.
But it's either you love it or you don't.
You don't. Yeah. Keep in mind, Dave and I can sit on solid 4s all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And fluctuate up and down a little bit from there. But yeah.
Hey, Jan, you want to see John give me the finger?
I'm just giving it to you right now
because he knows what it is. Sitting there, I'm going to harken back to the time where I was in Bamberg, sitting in Schlenkerla, drinking the Märzen off cask, eating a Bamberg onion.
This side hurts too.
And German beer cheese.
Oh.
I plan.
This is typical Dave, right? Because this is.
I plan my European trips around, and I
around what
about how many middle fingers I'll get from John.
Yeah, he does. He plans his European vacations around how much he can piss me off. That's what he does.
That's impressive.
But I mean, he's gone to like when he went to Italy. He went to Italy, right? He didn't go to Germany. He went to Italy. However, where did he have a stopover?
I scheduled a a 3-hour layover in Munich.
And he just happened to leave the airport and go to Schneiderweiss and have Aventinus off of tap 6 with some bratwurst. And then proceeded to call me at 7:00 in the morning here to let me know what he was eating and drinking.
I didn't call him. I went Facebook Live.
Whatever.
So is it like is there a rating scale on how many middle fingers the trip was worth? I mean, is it a 2-finger trip, 3-finger trip?
That one was that was a double barrel trip because in Italy I didn't get that so much.
Right.
When I actually did go to Munich that became, I think that was a 5-finger trip. My upcoming trip in August.
Yeah, it was a 5-finger trip, but there was some points of that trip that I was happy that you were there and what you had done.
Oh, it's not that they're never not happy for me, but it's still. And this trip coming up in August, I expect this to be at least like a 10 to 12.
He's going to Belgium.
So. Oh,
yeah.
So that you're going to rack them up there.
Oh yeah, that's. Especially considering I'm going to Bar Bernard, which is their 360 rooftop bar of St. Bernardus.
Well, you know, for a couple of weeks before he goes there, I'll be up in Portland, and I'll be stopping by. I'll be in Boston and everything else. Not that he can't go there; he just chooses not.
And not that I haven't been there.
Right. Exactly.
Ooh, we got fighting words now.
I'll be going back to Navarre. How was your first visit there?
Oh, that's we went right after COVID, and they were out of everything except for Sticker Alt, which is what he ordered. And I got sick and tired of everything being out, so I said, "Well, I'll just have a Sticker Alt." They said he got the last one. So yeah,
it's just things just work out sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
Anyway,
so I've been paying him back ever since.
He's been paying. Well, that's the case. He's been paying me back ever since. Anyway, what do you have? What do you have on the schedule for brewing this coming up?
Ooh, so Friday we're releasing the raspberry wheat ale and a pineapple and Cara orange sour.
That green beer I showed you has Cara in it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. And guava.
So what gives it the green?
I don't know.
A little bit of food coloring goes a long way.
Must be the hops. Hops are green, right? Must be the hops.
Hops are green. If this glass is any indication, that's where the green comes from.
There you go.
Yeah. So what you're saying is they dipped the glass in and the ink kind of got into the beer.
That's probably how it happened.
That's how it happened. Cool. So you have that one, and what's on the brew schedule for the coming month?
Let's see. So release-wise, we have the barley wine coming up.
Sure.
So that's aged in a maple bourbon barrel and oak chips as well.
When is that dropping?
I'm going to say before the end of the month. So there's not that much time, and we release beers on Fridays.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say there might be a barley wine day that it could be around. If I was a betting man, just saying.
Well, you'll have to shoot me a text, and I'll have to stop by and get some, because a barley wine aged in maple bourbon barrels.
Yep.
Yeah, Dave, what do you think? Would I like that?
Well, one of our early top threes was top 3 favorite adjuncts in beer. Mine's coconut, by the way. John's is maple.
Nice. So this one's a second run barrel, so it won't be as maple forward. The oak pops real nice.
That's fine with me. That's awesome.
Yeah, he'll be fun.
What's the ABV on that?
Should be 12%.
Nice. Perfect.
We had
perfect.
When I lived in Rhode Island, there was near a brewery called Smug, and they brew a beer called Cabin Fever, which is just you could pour it on your pancakes. I think John did. Did you not, John, pour some of it on your pancakes?
I definitely did pour some of it on my pancakes. As a matter of fact, yeah, I did. In fact, because you gave me 2 cans of it. I had one on the show, and then the second one, I actually poured a little on the pancakes, and it was so good just as the beer on the pancakes. I actually poured maybe about a quarter of the can into a saucepan and made a sauce with beer, and then poured that on pancakes too. Actually, that was why I had finished the pancakes by then, so I had frozen waffles, so I poured it on the waffles.
Yeah,
I couldn't wait until I made pancakes again. I had to taste it right there. You know, it was so good. It was ridiculous.
It's the most maple beer I've ever had.
And then the last time I was up in Rhode Island too, I was a couple of years ago, but it was in January, and we were up there for 3 days. The entire time we were up there, we were in Providence. The entire time we were up there, Smug was closed, and they had cabin fever. They didn't distro. It was you can only buy it at the brewery, and the brewery was like completely closed. They didn't even have production going on. It was just like it was right after New Year's.
Yeah,
the brewery was closed, so there was no one there. I couldn't go get any of it. I'm like, son of a bitch! I'm all the way up here and I can't get it.
Oh, it sucks.
So, Brian, whatchamacallit? It was 6%. That's awesome. The second runnings. That's awesome.
Nice.
Then he said, I don't even know why I'm putting it up, but I'll put it up. He said, need to jump up for a work call. We've joined if you're still.
Wonder how long this call's going to take.
No. He's back. He's back on already.
I know. I can see the comment.
I just started a new crate. And he said, my last crate was 39 bottles. Barrels? Yeah, 39 barrels. That's more like it, though. 39 barrels.
I would not put that past Brian. And we did that to him.
We did. And Ralph said, enjoy, gentlemen. See you soon, Jan.
See you soon, Ralph.
Whatchamacallit? I have opened my third. I'm just going to throw this up there right now. I'm having Dad Bach. All right. Father's Day was 2 days ago. So I'm having Dad Bach.
That is a pitiful excuse for a belly.
we just brewed a Bach today.
There you go. It's from I'll put it this way. Pondaseta Brewing in Canyon, Texas.
Canyon,
Texas. There you go. That's what I'm having. So, cheers.
Cheers. Well, I have my third.
What is your third?
It's fun.
All day West Coast. You are cleaning out your fridge, or you're not?
Well, remember, I just got this last week.
That is tasty.
I tell you what, though, man, I'm so glad. We've got a liquor store here that they'll get like a bunch of 6-packs. It's like 2 different beers from the same brewery, and they'll split them and combine them and sell them.
Oh, love that.
So I picked this up, but the reason I picked this up is because it was combined with Centennial.
Nice.
Oh, and I forgot how much I love that beer. That beer's. I think I've got one left, and I'm gonna.
So they basically build or mix and match their own mix 4-packs rather than letting people choose.
Yes,
I love hearing that. Like that. That's really cool because it forces you to try.
There's a couple of stores that do that. There's a couple of stores that I know that actually don't necessarily make mixed 4-packs out of 2 different beers, 2 and 2. They'll actually break apart 4-packs and make 2-packs out of them.
Oh wow!
They have 2-pack pack techs,
nice.
And they'll take a 4-pack and they'll get 12 units out of the case, and that's pretty cool because if you're going in there, if you want a 4-pack, you buy 2, same price, right? It's just half price. So
and also what you'll do sometimes you'll get like 3 beers from the same brewery and do a mix 6 with 2 of each. Mm-hmm. So you can really try stuff. It's really cool. That's actually what she did with the Dogfish Head stuff. There was actually 6 out of that one. I got this 60-minute and 90-minute.
She got 30, 60, 90.
30, 60, 90. Yep.
There you go.
Really cool.
There you go. They changed that not that long ago, just a month or 2 ago. They changed Slightly Mighty. They changed it to 30-minute. Dogfish Head did.
Well, it's the whole rebranding and change of the company.
Exactly. Although I am missing some of the old, craziness that Sam did. Once in a while it's not like those beers are gone, but they're not as readily available as they used to be. So, like, we're not getting Burton Batten anytime soon.
No, probably not. And the one, my favorite beer, still to this day, probably my favorite beer he made was Squall.
Okay.
Yeah. Squall 75-minute bottle conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
Just an amazing beer. That's
bottle conditioned 75 minutes. What about 61 minutes? You ever have 61 minute?
No, I never did.
Yeah.
61 minute is 60-minute conditioned on Syrah grape must.
Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. I love the way your camera is right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to fix said camera.
What'd you do?
I got damn it. Oh, there we go. Okay.
We're gonna fix this somehow.
There you
Returning.
go. There you go.
And
There we go. I'm gonna turn it sideways and hope for the best.
There it is.
There we go.
There it is.
he got it. Formed his own tech support.
There you go. You got it going. Cool. Any events scheduled for towards the end of the year coming up?
Gentlemen, I've got to take a bio break.
Why don't you take a bio break while I ask Jan that question? Did you hear me? Jan? Jan? Can you hear me, Jan? Can you hear me, Jan? I'm not sure he can hear me, folks. Now he's gone. So it's just me. I'm sure he'll be back on. I hope he'll be back on, but we will see. Anyway, folks, Dave is taking a bio break. I am going to sit here and take a sip. I'm not going to take a sip. Here we go. Jan is back. Something happened with his phone, and now he's back.
There you welcome to technology.
There you go. I was asking you. I was like, Jan, you there?
Well, it went sideways, and then it went silent. So,
yeah.
you know.
And you were there, too. I was like, does he see me? No. But no, I was just saying, what events you have at the brewery coming up soon, later this year? Anything you have planned in the works?
So we're doing a lot of live music, food trucks week. Food trucks. We do trivia night every Thursday at the brewery. Bonsai nights 3 times a month.
Okay.
So my brewer actually, Aaron, teaches the classes, it's a fun event.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
But also we're looking at doing a car show later this year. We're looking at doing our Oktoberfest.
Nice.
Very cool.
So yeah, and then kind of rolling from there into the fall months. Obviously, once you're in a fall, we're gonna be doing quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the fall's beer season, right? So.
Wait, you tell me that there's a season not beer season?
I argue with him that he calls fall beer season. I'm like,
well, I call beer season like from a week before Labor Day till a week after New Year's. That's what I call beer season. But no, I know where you're going. I know where you're going.
I think it's January 1st to December 31st.
No, in reality, beer season starts about a week before St. Patrick's Day and continues straight through till about a week before St. Patrick's Day.
Should be about accurate.
So anyway, yeah. So that's awesome. That's awesome. Once we get there, I mean, it's coming up fast. I mean, it's not even summer yet, right? Summer's Saturday. Summer starts.
Yep.
Right.
Could have fooled me.
But because of especially Oktoberfest, whether it's Fest beers or Märzens or anything like that, we're brewing them now, right?
Yeah.
So the summer in the beer industry. It's there, it's enjoyable, but it's, here and gone like before you know it, right? Especially with seasonal creep. And don't even get me started.
Well, I don't think there's anything seasonal anymore because ever since COVID and everybody blew through their stashes and their inventories, people have chosen to drink whatever or seek out whatever they can find. I mean, you have Tavor and everything else selling beers from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's true. It's very true. And
I'm one of those guys that I'm going to look at you funny and maybe even curse you out if you tell me that stout's a winter beer. No.
Yeah.
That's a year round for me.
So when it's 100 degrees on Monday, you'll be cracking that barrel aged stout.
Very likely, because you know what?
Well, he'll be sitting inside his 68-degree air conditioned.
We have air. But no, I would
I'm sure he's not going to take it out on the on the terrace and have
why not
sweat his ass off and drink it.
Well, because if I walk out onto the terrace, I'm dropping 6 stories to the ground because we don't have one.
Oh, it's funny.
Actually, I can go down to the set. We do have a terrace on the second floor outside the back of the gym, but if I walk into a gym, so many of my bodily functions will fail immediately. So
exactly.
I don't go out there because I have to go through the gym.
It's kind of difficult. All right. I'm what you call it? I'm about ready for top 3.
You about ready for top 3?
I'm ready for top 3 list.
We didn't give Jan any time to think about this.
Well, we gave Jan an hour and 10 minutes to think about this.
Oh boy.
But we were asking him other questions.
We made
in
him
the
talk
intro.
the whole time.
Well, I mean, he could, you could think about it. I'm sure I know what one of them is going to be. So
we'll see.
Tonight's top 3 list is top 3 favorite weather events. As you know, and we say this all the time on the show. So those of you that listened to the show before, Jan doesn't know this, but once you're up to, this is show 234. So once you're up to that many shows, it's kind of difficult to have more beer-related top 3s, right? Sometimes we find one that we can do, and sometimes we recycle them if they're annual shows, right? But but for this one, Jersey Cyclone, we figured top 3 favorite weather events. So, Jan, please start us off with your top 3. And when we say weather events, right? Weather is weather, right? We're not talking about a sunny day. Oh, I remember a beautiful sunny day back in 1987. Weather events like hurricanes, tornadoes, snow, blah blah blah, whatever. So favorite is, I use the term loosely, favorite, memorable. So top 3 events, memorable.
The weather events that impressed.
Weather events.
Oof.
So,
obviously weather events, they're good for some, bad for others.
Sure.
But I got to throw, Hurricane Irene, where got into home brewing.
Is that your number 1 or is that your number 3?
Oh, I got to rank them now? Jeez. I got to come up with all 3 first.
You know how a top 3, top 10 list works?
Ah.
Did you never watch Letterman?
So that's what got into beer. So I'm going to throw that as a top 1.
I'm going to say that's your number 1, right?
Yeah. So brewed a beer, named it Snowtober, which is that snowstorm after Sandy, where we had in on Halloween.
I'll say it was on
Remember
Halloween.
Remember that one?
Yeah. That was the year before Sandy.
Was it before?
It was after after Irene. It was like 2 months after Irene.
Oh, I thought it was after Sandy. Oh, I could be wrong.
No, you're right. It was. I mean, it was in October. It was Halloween, but everybody's power was still out. During
that was
Halloween,
both of those, because both times we took the kids trunk or treating.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm going to throw that up there. I'm going to
we call it Snowtober.
Now, Jan, they don't have to be specific weather events. They can be a generic kind of weather phenomenon or.
Phenomenon. Oh, now you're getting complicated since we kind of.
Well, we're starting to use long words.
Yeah, I know it's
and that's not just on the show. Dave and I are starting to use long words. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I hit 58 and I'm starting to use long words now. It's really weird.
Wow. Let's see here.
Isn't it weird that monosyllabic is multisyllabic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
It's not just me. Okay.
If I'm going to throw another one out there,
what do you think?
So always gravitated towards snow and things like that.
Sure.
Years ago, we ended up. So I used to plow snow for many years, like everybody that's young and tries to make money and all that craziness, and is crazy enough to do it for long hours. There was that one, gotta be 2000, early 2000s. We had one snowstorm go through. We ended up working for 12 hours, 13, whatever it was.
Sure.
Went to bed. I get a phone call going, "Are you guys coming back out?" What do you mean? So there was evidently the snowstorm took a hook and came back. I woke up, there's a foot of snow on the ground in 4 hours, and I was like, oh boy.
Nice.
But yes, so like I said, it always intrigued me how weather changes, and again, we have weather guessers. I'm never going to say weather forecasters. But yeah, the winter storms, the energy there, but on the flip side, just seeing again, I couldn't think of a singular event, so for a third. But it always, like I said, snow and being in the middle of snowstorms and things like that always intrigued me.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Dave, what are yours?
got a couple honorable mentions. Mine are going to be a little more on the generic side rather than specific events, but based on kind of specific memories. Because let's face it, I mean, you can put an honorable mention if you want. It's just me yammering, John. But I love torrential downpours and thunderstorms at night. There's something about it and being in bed. I don't know if it's that feeling of being sheltered or whatever, but I find it with it raging outside and being safe inside. I kind of feel that calming.
Oh yeah.
So I definitely love that. Another honorable mention would be tornadoes, because it's actually on my bucket list to one day see a tornado from a safe distance where no one gets hurt or too much great property damage. So that's kind of an honorable mention. But number 3 for me would be, and this is a specific memory. My friend Bill and I, we were golfing up in the Adirondacks, and we were just east of Blue Mountain, in Indian River. We're sitting there, we're watching the clouds gather around Blue Mountain. And if you spend a lot of time in the mountains, you understand that the mountains tend to hold clouds. They'll hold them, and eventually the clouds will get enough mass that the first streak that comes over that mountain will carry the rest of the storm with it.
Yep.
And we're golfing, and we're keeping an eye on these clouds amassing behind Blue Mountain. And we get to the last hole. We tee off. And I had a little bit of a slice, a little bit of a hook. Bill sliced it off pretty far off. And right after we teed off, we saw the clouds coming. Here they come here. So skies opened up. We ran for shelter. It didn't last that long. We get back, and we're both looking for rulings because Bill's ball has blown away. We have no idea where it wound up. And where my ball landed, when I teed off, it was not a water hazard. By the time the storm was done, it was a water hazard. So we decided we were both just going to take par on that hole and go home. So there's that one. Number 2.
A thunderstorm while you were golfing.
Yeah.
I was trying to make it concise to write in a sentence.
That's your problem, not mine. Sounds like a John problem. Number 2 for me, and this is more generic, even though it is tied to some memories that I won't bring up. Thunder snow.
Yes.
Thunder snow is so cool. You've got this snowing outside, but you're getting thunder. It's not; these things aren't supposed to happen, but they do, and I just love when there's thunder snow. But number 1 for me is it's akin to Jan's number 1, hurricanes, and it's because it's tied to my grandfather. My grandfather, he instilled the love of severe weather into all of us. He lived in Bricktown. If there was a hurricane, he'd grab my brother and I, throw us in the car, and we'd be at the beach.
There you go.
We'd be at the beach.
What beach?
Typically, we're at the Masquan Inlet in Point Pleasant.
Wow.
It's where we would be. And one time we went there. It was a warm day. It was Hurricane Bell. We're down there for Hurricane Bell. Watch that roll in. It's a warm summer day. My brother and I are in shorts. The wind was so strong we had to go in the car because we had little welts on our legs from the rain because it's blowing the rain so hard. But
wow.
Yeah, so me, yes, Irene, Sandy, a lot of these storms that came through were just awful. I remember Sandy going through the neighborhood with my chainsaw, helping people, get their cars out. And it was just devastating. But there's just something about that sheer power that it belittles us. That the planet can do this whenever it wants, and we're powerless. Sometimes literally, powerless. John, it is on to you when you're done stabbing away at those keys there.
All right. I think I got it all down. All right. So I got 2 honorable mentions.
So the keys made you crabby, so they got the stabby.
They got the stabby. There you go. I got 2 honorable mentions. All of mine are specific events. So I'll make it quick. And I normally don't, Dave. I just usually blow through mine, but I'll make it quick. So
usually when John utters a line, to make a long story short, I usually answer.
To make a long story longer. So anyway, my two honorable mentions are one in 1973
He's going to give us exact dates.
or 73 or 74. I remember it. It was like April. I'm assuming it was May, because I remember being in school.
So you're 5.
Yeah, I remember being in school, and there was such a bad thunderstorm that the teachers had us get under our desks. It was pitch black outside, pitch black at 1:00 in the afternoon. It was and I remember when I was home that night, I remember my father telling me that there was a confirmed tornado touchdown in like Springfield, New Jersey, and there were no tornadoes. And now there's tornadoes every time there's bad thunderstorms. There's tornadoes all over the place in New Jersey, right? But then there were never, or at least they weren't reported, right? But it wasn't a tornado thing. It was the fact that it was literally that bad of a thunderstorm that it wasn't like it was just dark from the thunderstorm. It was pitch black. And I remember it like it was yesterday, and I was 5, right? So it was crazy. So that's one honorable mention. And then my other honorable mention is, and it wasn't too long ago, it was like 4 years ago, Hurricane Isaias. Was it 2021?
Hurricane what now?
Hurricane Isaias. That was the name of the hurricane. You can look it up. It was like August of 21. Isaias, yeah, August of 21. So we're down here now. It's after. It might have been. I don't think it was 2020. It was 2021. It was after. It was still like it was the tail end of the pandemic, right? Things were starting to open up again. People were getting together, but we had our neighbors, all our crew, our whole neighborhood here, neighbors across the street, down the block, around the corner. We all would get together throughout the pandemic, and we would have happy hours every night on the front lawns. Everybody 6 feet apart, right? Bring your own coolers, right? And we'd all every night at 4:30, we're at somebody's lawn, and we're out there for 3 hours having happy hour, and then we go in and eat and whatever, right? But so we picked it back up again when Hurricane Isaias happened, because we were out of power. It was like a Tuesday it happened, and we were out of power for like 4 days in Belmar. And we all got together. Nobody had any power. We all got together and said we charged phones in everybody's cars. We were sitting on lawns with
Hurricane Isaias.
No, it was Isaias. It was Isaias. I promise you.
See, the pronunciation of that impresses me. I mean, the pronunciation of my last name. Must be the beers.
It's the beers. It's the beers.
It was 2020, by the way.
It was 2020. Okay, so I was wrong. It was 2020. I was right and wrong. 2020. So yeah, it was still during the pandemic. But yeah, it was Isaias. That was it. But anyway, so we got together, and the fact that we were still hanging out lawns, but now we did candles and everything else. It was kind of cool. So anyway, so I'm leaving that there. So my number 3, May of 1986. I'm in Columbus, Ohio, and I was in the North End Mall in Columbus, Ohio, which is kind of almost around the corner from Ohio State. Excuse me, the Ohio State.
Don't do that.
I know you're a Sooners fan. I know.
No, it has nothing to do with that.
I was kidding with that anyway. But down High Street and up the block, the North End Mall in Columbus, and everybody they literally were in the mall, and it was like a lockdown because there was literally a tornado that literally sideswiped the mall. So that's memorable to me. And there was tons of windows in there, so you actually saw stuff happening outside. So, number 2, January of '96. We had like I don't know, what do we have, like 20 to 30 something inches of snow.
What year?
January of '96.
Mm-hmm.
96.
Yeah, and I remember because I was on the fire department and in North Arlington at the time, and we were because when there was a bad snowstorm, you had Snow Watch. It's volunteer fire department, because when you volunteers, you're not at the firehouse. The alarm goes off, you get paged, and you go to the firehouse, get on the trucks, and you go. When it was a snowstorm, you stay at the firehouse. There's duty crews. You stay at the firehouse. We were there for 4 days. It started on Sunday. We were there till Wednesday. So that's memorable.
I remember that I lived in a sub-level apartment on that one.
There you go.
I had to dig my way out upwards.
Upwards, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Crazy snowstorm. And my number 1, and this is memorable to me because It was August of '77. I'm in Kissimmee, Florida. I'm on vacation with my parents, and we're in Kissimmee. Obviously, we're going to Disney World, right? And we're
Okay. You may have pronounced Isaias correctly, but it's Kissimmee.
Kissimmee,
Not Kissimmee.
Kissimmee. All right, Kissimmee.
No.
Is that better?
Go ahead.
I didn't want to say Kissimmee.
Stick your head into the portal. Go ahead.
Kiss me, Florida.
We know how well that works.
There you go. So there was a bad thunderstorm. We're at the hotel that we're staying at, well, motel or whatever that we're staying at in Florida, because there's go outside, you can sit outside, and we're not obviously in Disney World that night. But I remember there's bad thunderstorms to the west, and they kind of hit us, but we were nearby. But the lightning from this thunderstorm, it was like when it lit up the sky, it wasn't just a flash. It was cobwebs. It was like the entire sky was lighting up. And it's the most, still to this day, the most arms of cobwebs of lightning that I've ever seen. It was really, really cool. I'm sitting there with my father watching it, and that's a good memory. So that's my number one. So there you go.
Very cool.
I'm done.
And seriously, storms rolling across Florida. Have you ever seen like the big thunderheads rolling across the Everglades? That is so cool. It looks like a military parade.
Yep.
That people actually attended.
There you go. There you go. Did you open something else there?
I did.
What did you open?
Well, I figure after all this beer, I kind of need the Stewart's root beer.
Not wrong. So I didn't put that beer up. It's still a beer, right? So
it's still a beer. It's just
not.
It's a non-alcoholic.
It's an NA. It's an NA. Right?
It's an NA. This is an NA.
It's an NA. Anyway, so well, you know what? They should market it and charge a lot more for it, because White Claw came out with their line of non-alcoholic hard seltzers, right? Yeah. And they actually cost more than the regular hard seltzers.
Which, just so you know, that's called seltzer.
Right. It's just go buy this. You know, it's a little cheaper and it's the same thing. Right.
Look how long they've been doing this.
1934.
No, read again.
1924.
24.
1924. You know.
Wow. I mean, they were doing the driving thing before they actually were cars.
101.
How cool is that?
The ride in. It was
so they were walking.
So it was a ride. No, it was horses, right? It was a ride in. But where would they put the tray? Anyway, all right. Jan, anything coming up at the brewery that you want everybody to know, even the next couple of weeks? 4th of July, what's going on for 4th of July weekend?
So So for us, extended hours for 4th of July weekend. Just reminding everybody, we release a new beer every Friday. Mm-hmm. So our board continuously changes. We try to go from one end of the spectrum to the other on beers. So trying to brew something that everybody can enjoy.
Nice.
We do a bottle release every single month too.
Nice.
So, in addition to the normal draft and can releases, we do bottle releases every month, which is nice. It's something, that we can take pride in. All the bottles are, wax dipped and, something nice to take home and, put in the cooler, put on a shelf.
You is the barley one that you're releasing going to be a bottle release?
It will.
It'll be a bottle release. All right. Fair enough. I love it. Definitely have to get myself a couple of those. Yep. And have it at the brewery while I'm there too, because why would I not?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Maybe I can convince Dave to come down with me or meet me there. No. The following week.
Because
I know you're going to Rhode Island. You're going up to see. You're going up to see some beer and some people.
The car is going to come back about 200 pounds heavier.
Oh, that's it?
Than when it went up. At least. Well, oh no, I forgot to add in how much beer I'm going to drink. Okay, 3.
Are you going to stop by these guys?
I will be stopping by them because I'm going to go. Oh, I got to let Efron know.
You got to let Efron know you're coming. Yeah.
I forgot to tell Efron that I'm coming. Oh, probably shouldn't warn him. He will definitely.
Don't warn him. Yeah, don't warn him. He won't be there. He won't be there.
No, I should
show up. So, Cool.
Because that restraining orders run out too.
Exactly. Anything else you want to let everybody know about Jersey Cyclone that we haven't covered?
No, I think you guys got it all. We like I said, we brew through the one end of the spectrum to the other as a whole.
Yeah.
We take pride in making a memory for everyone. So
I love that. Absolutely.
From the second you walk in to the second to the time you walk out, we want you to remember, whether it's the beer, the conversation, whatnot. It is part of the story, and that's what craft beer is.
Exactly.
Looking forward, brewing a wedding beer, getting married in the fall. So that'll be out possibly.
Yeah.
When do you get married? What date?
September 12th.
September 12th. September 12th. There you go. Friday night.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I know that because September 6th is a Saturday night, and I have a wedding to go to that day too.
Yeah. That he's paying for.
And no, you're not you're working your way into the invite list for the wedding.
I got too much shit to do after that. So, no, it's all good. Weddings are great. I love it.
Yeah.
Kudos, congratulations.
Thank you.
Now I'll say it again before the wedding, but
absolutely.
Absolutely. It's pretty tasty.
One of these days, I'll be able to read my own handwriting without putting glasses on. I'm just checking
for September 12th. Why?
Oh, that's what that says. I'm like, do I have to have a concert that night? No, I gotta have blood work done.
There you go.
unless the band's name is blood work.
Band's name is that would be an interesting name.
Yeah,
not a bad
good excuses there.
I always wanted to somebody always wanted to name a band. I don't know.
Who you
I don't know. Who are you seeing next Friday night? I don't know. Oh, I hear they're good.
I had a friend
named his son just in case. Just in case.
He had a band, and he was torn between two names. One was Velvet Elvis.
I love it. That's great.
It's a great name. The other was Phlegmon.
No, I like funny. I like Velvet Elvis better.
Yeah.
Velvet Elvis was the better one. Well, it depends on what kind of music you play. If it's punk,
Phlegmon is much better. Yeah, absolutely. So I have a friend whose band name is Log.
Yes, and we all
top
heard
of the show. That band is Log.
That was Log. He's probably not talking about.
And that's the Big Toe. Is the name of the thing. And we've actually changed. I don't know if you noticed it, Dave, but we actually changed on the sports podcast. We changed the theme. It was "Babies Are Born Without Kneecaps." Now it's baklava. Baklava and baklava are two different things.
Oh God! Imagine making baklava.
No, it's very, very, very horrible tasting baklava.
God, that's worse.
Salty baklava. No, it's baklava. Yeah, it's.
I'm gonna have nightmares.
But it's Log nonetheless. So anyway, it is. So, anyway, all right. This was a fantastic show. I really appreciate you coming on. We really appreciate you coming on.
I'm here every week, John.
I'm John, not you. So yeah, we really appreciate you coming on. We're definitely gonna get up there, and you just text me when you're letting me. We'll talk after the show's done. We'll get some specifics done, but we'll be up there. And again, love to have you back at some point too.
Yeah.
Maybe before you do an event, and we can promote the event on the show.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Absolutely.
But again, thanks for coming on. I really appreciate it. And anybody wants to find out anything going on at Jersey Cyclone Brewing, where can they find it?
So Facebook, Instagram, we have a email list that you can sign up for on our website. So we kick out an email every week letting you know what we got going on that week and in the near future as well.
Awesome. Yeah, sign up for all of that. Check out their Facebook page, Instagram, I'm sure, their website. Check out everything. And
or just go visit.
And well, yeah, I mean, you can do that in the interim, but when you have the chance, get down there, go to Somerset. And it's not too far off. It's literally maybe 3-4 minutes off of 287.
Well, 287's a whole animal, so it's sometimes.
Well, once you get off
it's
the
still waiting.
exit,
it's
once
like
you-
a minute, 2 minutes at best. Yeah.
Once you get off 287, not gonna. I don't know wherever you're coming from. That's 287's the issue where you're gonna get. But once you get off the highway, a minute or two.
Well,
couple minutes,
we're a
minutes.
perfect safe haven to wait out the traffic.
There you
You
go.
know.
There you go. 100%. Not
Now you just need one off of the
and
Parkway
let everybody know what exit.
We're exit 10.
Exit 10. There you go. You're going to do that. So, but get there, and if we're there when you're there, we'll see you there.
Absolutely.
So, absolutely. I was talking to you. We'll definitely see you there. But we'll anybody else coming up, if Dave and I are there, we'll definitely talk to you. Let us know. But on that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGEROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, depending on certain circumstances. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Pandora, Amazon Music, iTunes Music, YouTube Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, CastBox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes, pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you will find the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers. That's it?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
The whole thing in certain circumstances, preloading excuses, John. I don't know. You
I
a lot
lost
of
3 points for that.
You lost 3
You
points for
suck.
that. Because that was some self-serving bullshit.
Well, it wasn't just me, but in any event. Take care, folks. We'll see you next week.
Bye, folks.